damage in here on this RG.
Yeah, Pandora controls the match entirely right now, but we've seen it with all of these evolutions. I mean, you can control the game entirely, but if you just give up one good offensive push, it gets dangerous.
Elixir remains. A nice late log there by Ruben, helping that Lumberjack out. 1950 to 2482. Pandora is commanding this game, or at least in the driver's seat, but it feels like Ruben is maybe finding his bearings. And those spears were dropped in that Lumberjack, yeah?
Yeah, placed a little bit too early. Only one of the Spear Goblins survives, gets the left Crown Tower down to 17. 1647 is Pandora. And right there, another slight error. The E-Spirit, I believe, it jumped on top of the miner as it was dying.
And Bats tanking for those wall breakers, so Lumberjack has to come out. And an early fishboy here from Ruben.
And there we go. That is a great placement of the Firecracker. And right there, Evo RG on top of the bomb tower. Will he be able to get a second RG on the board in front of the Firecracker potentially? There we go. We absolutely see that.
And Evo Knight up high, bomb tower down late. Fisherman here to pull the Evo Knight away. Bat's gonna do a decent job because that Firecracker is distracted, and that was a very clean defense from Pandora, once again, who goes right back on offense.
Right there, forces out the log in response from Ruben. Fisherman not going to be able to get any value. Ruben just trying to set himself up for the double RG push. There is no other way for him to beat this gorgeous defense from Pandora.
40 seconds remain in one of these two 2023 career.
Lumberjack going to be able to go on the left lane. Skelly Dragons to help out over the right. We see the poison on defense. Bomb tower should be placed in the middle, and there we go. This is the double RG push that he's been waiting for.
Evo Knight up high. Log comes in to take care of those spears. Firecracker distracted. This should be clean enough for Pandora. No, does get another shot. And the late bomb tower, 1503, 1451. Needs to get a poison and a miner down. Poison is in.
Going to apply pressure with the Skelly Dragons. I think, no. The log poison. It's gonna do
Ruben has been eliminated by just a hair, and Pandora stays alive.
What is it with these poison games? They always get to that last poison, gets the damage. I'm getting lightheaded. How do these poisons get down in time?
Perfect timing there. Gets the full tick of that full poison in. Able to mitigate enough damage. And Pandora escapes by the skin of his teeth. And just like that, only one former world champion remains in Mugi, as we say goodbye to Ruben after an incredible run in 2023.
Yeah, right there, Pandora. And this is the second reverse sweep. Is that what I'm seeing right there? If you are in the winner's bracket, I mean, it shows the talent that you have. Let's get an interview with our winner.
I'm here with Pandora. Pandora, congrats on taking another very tense, very close match. First question in the opening game, you went with the Evolved Royal Giant and Rage. Tell us about that pick.
勝利おめでとうございます。ギリギリのマッチなんですけれども、勝利できて本当におめでとうございます。第1試合の時に進化ロイヤルジャイアント、そしてレイジスペルを使ったんですけれども、これはどうして選びましたか？
レイジが気持ちいいので使いました。強いので。
I used Rage because I felt like it. I felt it's strong.
A good enough reason as any. Now, we noticed backstage you and Air Surfer have a long friendship and have worked closely even today on the last day of World Finals. And he said something to you on the way between backstage, him leaving and you coming. Could you share that with us?
で、次の試合はエアサーファーの試合なんですけれども、もう長い間仲がいいんですが、パンドラさんの、エアサーファーの試合の後、そしてパンドラさんの試合の前になんか携帯でメッセージを見せましたね。このメッセージは何でしたか？
自信を持って戦えばルベン選手には勝てると応援してくれました。
So he said, if you're gonna have the self-confidence, you're gonna win with Ruben. I will support you.
And he certainly did. Great win here. Let's hear it one more time for Pandora.
And you said it, AC. I mean, 2 back-to-back reverse sweeps. And what's so impressive about that is what we talked about earlier, is being able to bounce right back after losing in that upper bracket, and how different it must feel when you lose that extra life to give. Juicy, please give us a break, man. We need to catch our breath.
Yeah, I mean, that match was a beautiful one. I mean, Ruben versus Pandora, 2 veterans. Pandora just really clutching it out just barely with the minor poison once again. I do have a telestration for y'all coming right up. It's all about Pandora's ability to use these wall breakers to get this early damage. I'm gonna pause it and rewind it for y'all right now. So, I mean, we saw this at the beginning, right? Double wall breaker connection somehow, some way gets that early 1,000 damage. I feel like a lot of people forget how that is going to impact the rest of the game, and it did. He was able to defend really nicely throughout the entirety of the match. RG shots do get a lot of shots, and they do get a lot of damage, especially with this fireball coming in. But at that point, Ruben wasn't able to cycle back to another fireball, because look at Ruben's cycle compared to Pandora's. We have only one elixir card compared to the 1, 2, 3 2 elixir cards of Pandora, able to cycle back to those poisons, whereas Ruben was not able to.
I love that you brought that up too, because that double wall breaker connection happening, taking out those skeleton dragons, you don't know what those skeleton dragons would have done had they stayed alive. And obviously the foresight and hindsight is 2020. Who knows if Pandora maybe would have let that damage sneak in to maybe get an elixir advantage, and then at the end of the game, that would have not been enough. So great call on that. A bit of fortune there for Pandora, getting that double wall breaker connection and taking out those skelly drags, which could have been the big deciding factor. Deck 1, game number 1. Talk to me, AC.
Yeah, Ruben running the MK Ramrider Lightning, Pandora on the other side running the E-Giant Lightning Tombstone that we've seen 1,000 times, and for good reason. It's a very strong deck, but Ruben was able to take the game 1, and it was really just that MK double jump. That's all it is. He had solid offense throughout. He was using the Ghost on the left lane, so that way Pandora was gonna have to split up his pushes. And then eventually he found that opportunity, got the Mega Knight to the tower, especially with the help of the Ramrider, and that was game number 1.
And as we go on to game number 2 here, this is when Pandora had the great late game swerve, goes opposite lane on the left-hand side, Evo to RG with the Little Prince in tow. Poison comes out to stop that, which we know is never a good response, and also it really shows your hand to your opponent. As we move on to the final game here, you wondered who was going to be able to hold on. Pandora, I love, goes very, very fast cycle, and the pressure throughout was unrelenting. Maybe a bit of good fortune there early on, or maybe just some great plays from Pandora, getting that connection. And as we saw, all things came down to the wire. What does more damage, ladies and gentlemen, poison or fireball? Well, we just found out as Pandora stays alive, and we say goodbye to 2 more competitors. So next up, we will have Air Surfer and Pandora, friends going against one another. And then, of course, the top of the bracket, we still have Mugi and Pedro. I cannot wait to get through the rest of this day. Rich, which way are we going first?
I'm here on the floor with one of our long-standing world finalists here, Wallace. Wallace, this is not your first World Finals, but your first time playing World Finals in front of a large crowd like this one. How does this compare to something like 2020 when you reverse swept for Pain Gaming against Nova all by yourself? That emotion versus playing in front of the people here in this big crowd.
Or in 2020, we were playing at home, so it's really different about everything here because the crowd and the emotions is really big. And I think here I played really well, but the nerves was really on me, so I didn't perform that well, and unfortunately I lost, but it was a good experience here.
But you had fun here, and of course, one of the best parts about being at World Finals in person is seeing players and friends that you've been on calls with for years. Talk to me about finally getting to be in the same place with some of the best friends and best players in Clash Royale.
Besides competing, I think the best thing here is to see the friends. The Clash Royale community is the best thing here, and yeah, I'm really happy.
Of course, not all the competition took place here in the arena. There was a friendly match of football, soccer for those of you who say it that way. So who do you think was the best out of all of you on the pitch?
Oh, the best is for sure me, and I say Dominic Arnento is good.
I did see some of Arden Toas's moves out there and some of the videos. Now, we have some more matches coming up, and I think I already know the answer to this question. But we have 4 players left, 2 in the upper bracket, 2 in the lower bracket. Who you picking for our world champion?
For sure, Pedro. He's playing really well today, and I think he's gonna win versus Mugi. And the lower bracket, I think our surfer will win.
Air Surfer certainly on a tear. Of course, Pedro looking, all 4 of these guys looking phenomenal today. Last question here for you, Wallace. You've been to World Finals multiple times. You grinded through semi-pro. You played my tournaments on my own channel before you were a pro player. Here you come, World Finals 2023. What do we expect from Wallace in 2024?
For sure, confident, more confident guy than this year, and I'll come next year to be champion.
We'll see him champion next year. You heard it here first. Back to you guys.
You know, there's a lot of players that say that they're going to be the champion next year. I feel like I've heard that 8 or 9 times. Is that possible? Can we have 8 or 9 champions?
I don't think that is possible, Josh, but we do have a tweet on the board here. We have Cyril Day 3 is bananas. Who will be the next world champ? So he's wondering as well. Let's look at the bracket here and find out the path to that question.
Yeah, we know 2024. We just still waiting on 2023. Hashtag ClashFest, hashtag CRL. What was it? Hashtag CRL23? I think that's what it was. Let's take a look at that bracket right now, though, and see how many players we have left. Finally made it to the top 4. There you go. Join in. Hashtag CRL23, hashtag ClashFest. Get those tweets in. We want to see you on the TV to see yourself. There we go. Okay, upper finals, Mugi, Pedro. Winner moves on to the grand finals. Loser already guaranteed top 3 placement. In the lower semis, we do have Air Surfer and Pandora. That's going to be match number 27. The Melon Boys and going against each other. That's going to be a crazy battle to watch.
And this is exactly what Air Surfer said that he wanted. He wanted to play against his good friend Pandora. They're always walking around together. Pandora doesn't speak much English, but Air Surfer doesn't really speak that much either. So it's a good combo. I love to see the Melon Boys out here in the lower bracket final. Or not the final, the game before the final. We have one more person in the upper bracket going to be dropping down and playing against the winner of those 2.
Yeah, right there. Pandora and Air Surfer, great friends. And I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again. Can they remain great friends after this next battle? We will find out soon. Andrew, what do you got? You got some new players.
Well, I'm actually here with one of my very good friends and someone that I've watched since day 1 of my Clash Royale career. Sir Tag, how you doing, man? How are you enjoying World Finals?
Dude, I'm loving Finland. It's great to be here.
Yeah, you know, so I gotta ask you, man, it's been about 6 years since you competed professionally back in the day. How has the competition changed since then when you're watching World Finals now?
It's really ramped up. Every pro player has gotten a lot better. Obviously, at the start, we were kind of able to screw around a lot more. And after years have developed in the game, there's been a lot more placements added, and cards have evolution, so there's a lot more strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about strategy and competing, even though you don't professionally compete in Clash, these days you did just have a massive tournament. You played Brawl Stars, you played Clash of Clans, you played Clash Royale. Which game do you feel like your skills translate to the most, or which one did you maybe struggle with playing the most?
So it should have been Clash of Clans because obviously the IP transfers over, so I should know all the characters, but I did a lot better in Brawl since I played it a ton before it went global. Clash of Clans, I didn't even know how to place the clan castle, so that was a struggle.
Hey man, that makes 2 of us, if we're being 100% honest. It's been a while since I've played, so really quickly, when you think about the amount of stress that's going on for these competitors, I mean, how do you keep calm when you're playing, and maybe you can give them some advice, because honestly, we get to kind of chill and watch today, but you've competed for a long time. What's your best advice?
Yeah, so when I competed live, it was really scary. Competing behind a screen, it's a lot easier. So there's no real substitution besides playing your best, being able to get in a position where you're on stage, and then using these circumstances to get better in future competitions.
So they're telling me that I have to stop the interview because we're ready to go, but I don't care because I have one more question. For years, you've been saying assert dominance. It's my favorite thing. I stole it numerous times throughout my career. Who has asserted the most dominance here today?
Definitely Pedro. I can't believe he's like a mortar magician. He pulls the mortar out, stops the Ram Rider that's right about it to go on his tower. The guy is playing unreal today.
Wait, I get to interview you, I get to cast your matches, I get to say assert dominance, and you're talking about mortar all in 1 month? This is the best month of my life. It's not gonna get better than that. Thank you so much, Tag. I love you, brother. Back to you boys on the desk.
Two players that lost earlier today, but they were able to bounce back. Who's going to be able to keep that momentum? We're going to be able to find out soon. Air Surfer and Pandora!
They have long been good friends. And of course, words of encouragement mere minutes ago, but Juicy, friendships do have to end somewhere. And I think it's right as you walk into those podiums.
Yeah, I can't imagine going up against a good friend on a stage like this. I've never done it like that before, and it's a huge difference in cash as well. You know, we have a lot of money on the line, especially as we near the top 4. Can we see Pandora fight back? Japanese live with games, so no doubt. I love that tweet from Real Leo. GG's, shout to him.
Well, definitely has to fight pretty hard here against his longtime friend and Air Surfer, and you see the players getting themselves ready for this matchup, and this one does take them into the top 3. The winner of this will face the person who drops down from our winner's bracket final. So you go from here to play either Pedro or Mugi for a chance at our World Championship spot.
Yeah, World Championship spot. We've talked a lot on this broadcast how Air Surfer is the #1 player from the North America region, and I can't help but note that with every win, he's getting closer and closer to proving that not only the best player in the world, not only the best player in North America, but the best player in the world.
This seems more like a realization for everybody. I think that a lot of players who are in the know have said that Air Surfer's world class for a long time. More casual fans, even some hardcore fans, I think have questioned the true level of Air Surfer. But I'm gonna guess here that this is no surprise to you.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. He's been in this game since the very beginning. He has all of the experience, and the casuals may not realize it because he's not all that high up on ladder. He doesn't grind that, but ladder is not the best practice when it comes to duels formatting and also creating your own decks. We saw earlier how he was able to change the meta on his own with the Monk Royal Giant and the Monk Fisherman combo that he's been putting together to able to counter those Goblin Giants, but also to counter those boulders.
Players taking a minute to get ready here, and if we look over at Pandora making his 3rd World Finals appearance here, Pandora, of course, a golden ticket winner with a phenomenal celebration and has a really good crew around him. Plays with some of the best players on the planet out of Japan because that is one of the best places for Clash Royale in the world. And of course, the Japanese fans here today are absolutely wild. I don't know if you've noticed this at home. Maybe we can get a look at it later. Every time a Japanese player wins here, they all get up and rush over to the Japanese caster's booth and go for a full-on party.
That is amazing. I mean, I wish that our fellow Americans in this stage that were chanting for Air Surfer as he walked on stage were able to do that for us, but I think we're a little bit too high up on this box.
Well, let's go ahead and get ready for this matchup here. And you can see a little note from Chompy. I'm, quote, sick from work today so I can watch the event. Thanks, Clash Royale. And if there is any great day to play hooky, this seems like it.
Yeah,